after the downright infuriated mood I was after watching Monday Night Raw this past Monday. Smackdown Live probably could have just given me a rematch of all the matches they had at Extreme Rules, and I would have been fine with that. But that's not the Smackdown way. Instead, they gave me a solid show with superstar builds, pay-per-view builds, and interesting action all the way through, as did 205 Live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tuesday Night Live. I'm your host, Travis Colt. We're talking about Tuesday. We've got Monday in our rear view. We've got SmackDown. We got 205 Live. Let's start talking about it. SmackDown opened up with a Jeff Hardy promo. We know that Jeff Hardy is getting his rematch for the United States Championship, but he comes out, starts dropping those key words, saying that his heart is broken, that he's going to make Shinsuke Nakamura fade away and classify himself as obsolete, getting the crowd kicked off in a great way. And then immediately following that, we had Shinsuke cutting a very heelish promo, just mocking Jeff Hardy's face paint and just loving the fact that he's the champion. A good back and forth, setting up for a really fun main event. But our first match of the night, interestingly enough, has the WWE Champion AJ Styles defeating Andrade Cien Almas. Fantastic match. And next week, Paige is going to announce who AJ will defend the WWE Championship against at SummerSlam. So, already looking forward to finding out who that's going to be, especially after two fantastic matches between AJ and Rusev and AJ and Andrade. Very interested to see who's going to get the next spot. And speaking of Rusev, Aiden English is completely distraught after what happened at Extreme Rules. He talks to Lana. He's like, hey, I need you to really let him know that I'm sorry for, he says he kept replaying everything that happened. So Aiden is now on a quest to try and figure out how he can make it up to Rusev after what happened at Extreme Rules. Becky Lynch continues her winning ways after defeating Mandy Rose, and then immediately Pseudo calls out Carmella saying, like, hey, I've been racking up some wins. I should be getting a title shot. And Paige, in fact, makes Becky Lynch versus Carmella next week because Carmella says, well, I beat Charlotte twice. I beat Asuka twice. I need a new celebration. So Paige says, okay, if you can beat Becky Lynch next week, you can have one. But if Becky beats you, then she gets a title match at SummerSlam. So we have a number one contenders match next week. Ty Dillinger had a match against Samoa Joe. Apparently, this isn't something that I read or saw last week, but apparently Dillinger was supposed to have a match prior to SmackDown and was attacked by Samoa Joe. He had a funny little thing in the back with R-Truth. R-Truth was doing the R-Truth thing. He was talking to his mom in Bluetooth and all kinds of stuff. Ty Dillinger ends up losing to Samoa Joe, but has a great moment of fire at the beginning, just really getting aggressive with Joe. But it is Samoa Joe. Joe ends up winning. Miz had a eulogy for Team Hell No, talking about the fact that he knew it was never going to work and all this stuff, and then saying that Daniel Bryan's comeback has been a bust and that his in-ring career and dreams of ever being WWE Champion or main eventing WrestleMania are just like Team Hell No. They are dead. He was then attacked from behind by Daniel Bryan. He had a couple of pallbearers out there that were bringing out things for the eulogy and stuff. One of them ended up eating an Aberdeen facebuster, and we are definitely building towards Miz versus Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam. Eric Young defeated Kofi Kingston after a fantastic usage of the outside groups. Killian Dane actually throwing Woods into Kofi while the referee's back was turned, allowing Eric Young to pick up the win. So that's now 2 straight wins for Sanity. And in the main event, Jeff Hardy did in fact defeat Shinsuke Nakamura, but it was by disqualification. He had hit the Swanton Bomb, almost got the 3, but was pulled out by Randy Orton, and then completely destroyed by Randy Orton. Randy Orton not only using the stairs to completely destroy him, but then continuing the assault, and then even kind of turning into twisted, sadistic Randy Orton by fish hooking the gauged ears of Jeff Hardy and yanking on them, then throwing him over the table. Referees and agents are out there trying to stop him. He gets pulled away for a second, goes back, ends up hitting the elevated DDT, and Shinsuke is just like holding the title like, I don't even know what's going on. So Randy Orton has some issue with Jeff Hardy. It is still stemming from his return at Extreme Rules. Very interested to see where this goes, but I think this is a great transition that now, if Jeff Hardy doesn't get another match against Shinsuke, we are easily transitioning Jeff Hardy into a new storyline with Orton, and then we can start building up a new challenger for Shinsuke. So I'm very okay with how everything is going right now. Then on 205 Live, we had TJP, in fact, defeat Noam Dar. He knew last week that he was going to be having this match. TJP also getting a little bit vicious, targeting the surgically repaired knee of Noam Dar, and picking up the win with a knee bar. Drew Gulak defeated a young jobber named Danny Garcia, and then pretty much staked his claim that he wants to be a great cruiserweight champion. Next week, we're going to get a rematch between Tony Nese and Kalisto. They're going to be leaving their respective teams in the back after last week when Buddy Murphy attacked Kalisto and all of Lucha House Party. So it'll just be one-on-one Nese versus Kalisto. And then on the main event, Lio Rush defeated Akira Tozawa. Fantastic match. And before we went off the air, Cedric was very interested to find out who he'd be facing for the Cruiserweight title. And Drake Maverick is like, well, I'm kind of looking at everyone's body of work, and I think that next week we're going to be having a Fatal 4-Way with Drew Gulak, TJP, Hideo Itami, and Mustafa Ali, and the winner will get a Cruiserweight Championship match. That'll be a fun match. This has been a fantastic Tuesday. I'm going to start talking about stuff. So I'm gonna give a big shout out to 205 Live. You didn't necessarily make my like or love here, but it was still a great show. Great matches between TJP and Noam Dar, Lio Rush and Akira Tozawa. But SmackDown just had such a level of build and momentum and movement towards the pay-per-view that it's got all my spots. So for my like, it is AJ Styles building new stars. After showing everyone what Rusev is capable of against a WWE champion, the fact that Rusev lost is not a bad thing for Rusev. Because, at least in my opinion, because Rusev showed that he could go toe-to-toe. Literally, the idea kind of coming out of this is that if Aiden hadn't done what he did, Rusev could have been WWE champion. So he went toe-to-toe with the WWE champion, had a fantastic showing, still has all of the support from the fans. So now we have Rusev, who could potentially be a WWE title contender. Same goes for Andrade Cien Almas. A couple of fantastic matches with Sin Cara. His two first real matches, I think he's only had like one or two other people actually on the main roster to fight on SmackDown. But now he immediately goes into a match against AJ. Has a couple moments where he almost puts AJ down, but because AJ is the WWE champion, it makes sense to have AJ win. That's not a loss. That's not a loss that's going to hurt Andrade, because Andrade, just coming up to the main roster, shouldn't be able to beat the WWE champion. But to go toe-to-toe and actually almost beat the WWE champion is a big momentum build for Andrade, period. So now he has a lot of eyes going, okay, he really took it to AJ. We got to keep watching him. He could be a United States champion soon. He could be a WWE champion soon, as long as he's able to really build his momentum. So I think the fact that AJ is taking the time to go against these guys, still being champion, but really building the idea of who is a potential contender, really enjoy it. And my love is going to Jeff Hardy, Shinsuke Nakamura, and sadistic Randy Orton, because between the promos and the match, as much as I like the transition, I really wish that Jeff versus Shinsuke would have gone a little longer. The couple matches that it's got hasn't quite been enough, but it's been fun to watch. This is a feud that I would hope that they would like revisit, because I think there's a lot more that these two are capable of to really go against each other, if in fact this is the transition out of the storyline. On the same token, having Randy Orton return to that just sadistic, crazy, I'm willing to do anything type of Randy Orton makes me excited to see what he does to Jeff Hardy. I mean, if this is just the beginning, we've seen Randy Orton get crazy against people, whether it's Triple H or John Cena or, now Jeff Hardy. Randy Orton is capable of very terrible things, which makes Randy Orton's character very, very dangerous. Will he kind of be in this title situation, or is it just going to be him and Jeff? Very intrigued, but I like the dynamic of Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke, and I love the reintroduction of sadistic Randy Orton. And my dislike is a very minor dislike. Even though he had a great moment, I would still like to see more Ty Dillinger on Smackdown. He's a good hand, that was his thing in NXT for a while, but eventually he got to that moment where he was in multiple big matches for NXT. I want him to get to at least, I want him to at least be in the hunt for the United States title on a more regular basis. I want him to have a match against AJ Styles. Maybe after this week, have him go against AJ next week, or maybe after SummerSlam or something. I want Ty. Ty deserves so much. He's such a good character. He's got so much love from the crowd. He's so well-rounded and so much fun to watch. And I feel like he doesn't get a chance to bring as much to TV as he should. That being said, he still had a great moment against Joe, despite Joe ultimately defeating him. I need more Ty Dillinger. That's all I'm gonna say. Like I said, big shout out to 205 Live. You guys had a fantastic show. There was just, I could have gone through everything on SmackDown, whether it's Becky potentially being number one contender, Sanity picking up another win, any of that stuff. I love the whole show, and Raw can suck it. That's all I'm going to say. But that is it for Tuesday Night Live, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Comment down below what your favorite part of SmackDown and or 205 Live was. You can do the like, love, dislike if you want. Let us know down below. We enjoy conversation. Thanks to everyone that has been commenting on videos lately. It's really fun to actually get to communicate with some of you guys and really just, have a wrestling discussion. That's what we're all about here on the Wrestling Rundown. But we want you to click all the links down below. Follow us on various social medias. You can also check out the podcast. That's the SoundCloud link where you get this review and all of our regular reviews in podcast form. And there's Reasonable Wrestling Fans. Yes, it is reasonable with a W, like wrestling, where we have the list with Kevin Hawk, Question of the Week with Thomas Wolfe. We got some new videos coming your way. We have an unboxing video that'll be coming up very soon. Battle of the Boxes. We've got Loot Crate versus Pro Wrestling Crate, so look forward to that. We also have punishment videos and other videos that are loosely based around wrestling. But for now, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next. And yes, of course, I'm gonna say fuck Modus. Glad they're not on SmackDown. Man, couldn't take it.